The banning and restricted announcement has been announced. However, there's going to be no changes to Modern and Pioneer. Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and Wizards of the Coast has made the announcement that they're going to make a BNR announcement coming up next week. But they announced the formats that are going to have changes. It's going to be Vintage, it's going to be Legacy, and it's going to be Brawl. The format we don't talk about on this channel. But the greatest news out of this is that there's going to be no changes to Modern and Pioneer, which frankly I think are the more hotly debated formats over the others. But let's talk about all of it. For example, Loris completely breaks Black Lotus in a whole new world. Black Lotus is restricted to one for a reason. The fact that you can go Black Lotus, sacrifice it on turn 1, play your Loris, get Black Lotus back, again, play more stuff is just beyond stupid. So, according to the Vintage community, Vintage is completely dissolved into a pile of crap. And Loris looks like it's going to be in the category of banned cards like dexterity cards like Chaos Orb and anti-cards. That's amazing. That is a feat that not even Storm, Dredge, or Phyrexian mana could achieve. But we're also looking at Legacy. Now, Legacy is interesting because there's a lot of hotly debated cards in that format. You know, beyond Loris, things like Arkham's Astrolabe and Oko and Veil of Summer. So, I mean, things like Arkham's Astrolabe also could get the axe. A lot of Legacy players are looking forward to this BNR announcement because things like Astrolabe really changed the format in a big way. It took, in a way, its personality, almost like, how do I want to put it? It took away the custom of the format because Arkham's Astrolabe badly undermines Wasteland, which has been a staple of the format basically for forever until Astrolabe came along. It's a lot like how Chalice of the Void got restricted in Vintage because Chalice undermines like the customs of the format. This is a format where you're supposed to play Black Lotus and your Moxen and so on. So why do we let Chalice of the Void, even though like Chalice isn't oppressive in the format at all, the fact that it can be played on turn 1 on 0 and undermine cards that are of the custom of that format, is not a good thing. The community doesn't like it. And so Astrolabe hurts the customs of Legacy being able to utilize Wasteland in a proactive manner. So that could be in trouble, which actually leads me to believe it's possible. It's possible. Because we don't know what Wizards is going to do. It's possible that Wizards will not ban any companions in Legacy, and they're actually going to touch some of the other problems that have been stewing around in Legacy for a long time. So we might see changes. We might see something happen to either Oko, Veil of Summer, or Arkham's Astrolabe, and they might let companions sit there for a little bit longer. But now let's get back to Modern. And to some degree Pioneer. Let's get back to the big formats that are going to be supported by Wizards for many years to come because there's no reserved list potentially hindering them. Let's look at Modern. Why the hell is Wizards not going to do anything in Modern? Nothing's going to be touched. There's so many people that are super pissed with Modern right now. They think it's a dumpster fire. The numbers are in, like 70 to 80% of people do not like the companions. They do not like how it's changed Modern for multiple factors. I have another video on why. And Wizards of the Coast doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what? To be honest, for a very long time, I always thought that Wizards of the Coast always wanted to take their time. They need more data. They need more information about the impact of the environment because everyone by default says Wizards needs to sell packs. Wizards needs to wait for the paper stuff to come out so that the price of the boxes are high and they can sell this thing to Kingdom Come, and after they've done selling, then they start banning cards. And I always thought that was baloney. In my opinion, I always thought they really do need data. They really need to see if this card is actually bad for the environment. But the data is in. We've got the data. We have like tons of tournament results. We're doing double the challenges that we had before. Infinite people have been playing. Everyone's given their feedback. And what can I say? I was wrong. They're trying to make money out of this. They already, with Vintage and Legacy, I think acknowledge that the companions are a problem. I mean, if they ban Luris in Legacy, 100% they admit this is a problem. That's probably a problem in the other formats. But we can't milk any money out of Vintage and Legacy. We're gonna milk the money out of Modern and Pioneer, which I think is still like pretty ridiculous. How on earth do you make money out of the paper cards when we can't even play paper? Like, what does it even matter? Like, who cares? We're working into like a Hogak situation where a lot of people said, oh, they can't ban Hogak immediately because they need to sell packs. Well, Hogak wasn't a $40 card. It was like around $8 or $10 or something like that. It wasn't high. Everyone saw the writing on the wall. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew it was going to be a goner. Hence why the price couldn't go to like Oko levels high. It was very, very low. So why are we waiting on this? Why can't we take action now when it's clear that the community does not like it? I don't know. Rosewater admits that, Magic should be enjoyed in any format. Anywhere. If you want to play, they focus on Standard and Commander for sure, but if you want to play Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, or Vintage, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy play Magic in any form. So if they're going to take action in Vintage and Legacy, I think it is only appropriate that they also take action in Modern Pioneer. They can't make that much money out of this card. They can't make that much money out of Luris. If people love Luris in Commander and Standard, great. Like, let them make money out of that. But it seems like they're really dragging their feet for very little gain in the non-rotating formats. So Rosewater also claims that people love companions. It's super popular. He's getting all this feedback that Companion is a fantastic mechanic. And honestly, to be brutally honest, I think he's true. I think that's right. I think that's true. I think if you look outside the competitive formats, if you look at Kitchen Tabletop Magic and Commander and stuff like that, they're balanced and they're fine. It's not like breaking anything. And by the way, like, how big can competitive Magic be? Like, it's been estimated there's like 20 million people playing Magic. Let's just say that's BS and it's 10 million. 10 million active Magic players. How big is the competitive Magic scene? Maybe 100,000 players, maybe 200,000. But the point is, like, we are like a really small community. And I'm including Standard. I mean, if you just factor in like Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, we're tiny. Like, we're really a really small part of the overall big pie of Magic the Gathering players. But I don't think that means we should be ignored. I actually think, even though that we're really niche, we are super important to Magic the Gathering on a whole, and because we are the face of Magic the Gathering. We also have a very important financial impact on Magic the Gathering, but we are the face. We are the people who show up on Twitter, show up on Reddit, go to the local game store and play in events. We are the ones who fill the tournament hall at the Grand Prix, that they can say, look at how many people are playing Magic the Gathering. Look how vibrant this is. Look at your local game store. Look at the room that's so full. Go to your local game store, buy stuff. We are the face of Magic the Gathering, and they should keep us happy. So, not to mention the fact that certain cards drive up in price, largely due to the competitive players. So we do have an impact on how well their boxes sell. I mean, I know a lot of pony players who play Kitchen Tabletop Magic, they love the commons and uncommons. They don't even care about the rares. They sell off the rares to the competitive players. We're the ones that drive the price up on the cards that matter to help them sell their boxes so that those boxes have value. The ponies just care about all the commons and uncommons and just maybe some rares and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're the ones driving the prices. So they should keep us happy. And you know what? We're not buying Luris because we know this thing's going to be hot trash the moment it gets printed. I mean, you look at the a lot of people say, Nikachu, like, Mishra's Bauble is only like $15. What are you talking about, $50? Look, it's $50 online because that's where we're playing right now. It's like cheap on paper because no one's going to buy into that thing because everyone knows, first off, we can't play with it, period. There's no local game store to play in right now because we're all quarantined. But also, like, it's a pretty strong sign that that card is something's going to get banned, and then that card isn't going to be playable anymore. So it just shows that, you know, the competitive players, we don't have as much confidence in the paper version right now. Because we can't play it. We know something bad is going to happen, and also we can't play with it right now. So why are you putting us through hell online right now? Because we can play with these things online right now, and we have to if we want to stay competitive. Something also interesting Rosewater said is that it's not so easy. It's not so easy to fix this companion issue. And I think he's directly talking about Jim Davis's approach to fixing the companion issue by starting with the companion basically in your hand and then drawing a random 6 cards. So that was Jim Davis's solution. You know, Loris has to replace a card in her hand so that we don't have that 1 extra card advantage. How about Loris is eventually put into our hand, in our starting hand, after we draw a random 6. And I don't know exactly how he said it. Maybe you can mulligan to 5, mulligan to 4, and then eventually after you're done mulliganing, you add Loris to your hand. But the idea is, you know, we change the rules of Magic. We've done it before with the Legend rule. We've done it before with the mulligan rule. I'm under the impression that this can't be done so quickly. Maybe some things are put into place, they're fixed in software that cannot be changed for many months to come. So it's just interesting that, you know, Rosewater basically, you know, because this seems like such an obvious fix that we can do, but Rosewater says, you know what, it's not so easy to fix this as we think. So maybe there are some things in movement and motion between multiple ranges of software. Maybe some rules are written down in some starter packs or something. I'm not too sure, but he says that, you know, it's not so easy to fix this right now at this very moment. Maybe there's going to be a fix somewhere down the line in the future. So that was very interesting. Like, how much longer do we have to wait for paper cards to exist? That's like another thing too. So like, do we have to wait for the paper cards to come out and then we gotta like wait another month after that for them to take action in Modern and Pioneer? Ridiculous. Anyway, those are my thoughts. This is Nikachu Merfolk Master talking about the next BNR announcement.